The top two nations in CONCACAF are set to face each other this Sunday. Yes, United States and Canada. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to CanMNT, and welcome to another match preview. And today we're going to tell you where you can watch the game if you're in the United States, any news and updates. We'll try to predict Greg Berhalter's starting 11. Maybe. I'll give a couple. I'm not going to try too hard on that, and I'll give you my score prediction on this as well. I will also be bringing in this video a dear friend of this channel, the very rude Canadian Josh from JJDTV, to give us some updates on Canada and how they played against Honduras and what we should expect for this match. With that said, everyone, don't forget to check on the description down below our second channel, Tactical Manager Clips, where Dustin's cutting clips from the live streams and interviews and putting it there. It's also there just in case we get canceled. Now, this game does mean a lot to me as my Twitter career is at risk. So if you kindly could hit that like button right now to support the channel. Let's try to hit 1,000 likes on this video, just like the live stream. I'll see you guys on Sunday on the live stream as well. Let's play the intro and let's start the preview. The U.S. men's national team is set to face Canada this Sunday, January 30th at Tim Hortons Field at Hamilton, Ontario in Canada. Kickoff is set to take place at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Honestly, that is the actual name of the stadium, right? You would think I was making a joke about Tim Hortons, but no, that's the actual name. If you're in the United States, you can watch this match at Paramount Plus streaming service. And again, they don't sponsor us. We just do free advertisements so you know where to watch. Now, these two nations are the top two of CONCACAF currently. Canada with 19 points and the U.S. men's national team with 18. Whoever wins this match doesn't mathematically lock in, but practically locks in the top four. All right, not mathematically, so don't hold me accountable to that. 21, 22 points should be more than enough to hold on to a top four position in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Now, the last time these two teams faced was for the second round of World Cup qualifying, and the United States was coming off a 0-0 draw against El Salvador. And for this match, when we faced them all the way back in September, it was a very much needed win for the U.S. men's national team. However, it ended on a 1-1 draw at Nashville. It was also the game right after Giovanni Reyna got this very serious injury that he hasn't even returned yet, and Weston McKennie had gotten suspended and kicked out of camp the day before. So for that match, we got the lead with Brenden Aaronson at the 55th minute, but Canada went on to tie 7 minutes later with Kyle Laring. Then again, Greg went with Lletget and Acosta as dual weights. What can go wrong? But it was not just that. It was also one of those games where Greg's in-game management was just bad. Actually, bad is not fair. It was just non-existent. He forgot he could use subs. Besides the Dest injury sub in the first half, Greg did not make any substitutions till the 83rd minute, where he would pretty much send in Christian Roldan for Sebastian Lletget, which is essentially 6 for half a dozen, then Josh Sargent for Pifak, and Conrad de la Fuente for Brenden Aaronson. It was a game we could have very much lost, and yes, of course, there were the field issues with Weston McKennie, off the field issues, right? That definitely hurt us. Christian Pulisic was returning for COVID, but no excuses. Canada was much better that day. They were just a better team that day, and honestly, as a team, they have been better throughout the entire qualifying. Now, the reason I said his in-game management was almost non-existent is just that, in my opinion, if a game's not going well at home and you are technically supposed to win that, which the United States is supposed to beat Canada at home, and things aren't going well and you don't make a tactical sub or just change something up on your team till the 83rd minute, it kind of screams to me that you don't know what you're doing in that game, or you don't know what to do, okay? It's not that he doesn't know what he's doing. It just screams to me that he didn't know how to react to John Herdman's tactics and how Canada was playing, essentially. But hey, in this window, we're going to have to Berhalter ball our way through it. Just like Gold Cup, 1-0 is going to be the way. Now, in regards to any news or updates for the U.S. men's national team, there's really no breaking news that has come out at the time of this recording on Friday. If there's anything, I'll pin on the comment section down below. If Greg can just match Herdman, not overcoach him, not outcoach him, sorry, not overcoach him, outcoach him, just match, we should be the favorites to win or at least draw. However, he has been outcoached by Herdman in the past. Even though we haven't lost to Canada in 2021, Herdman has been doing a great job. Let's see how the coaches do. Greg Berhalter's unpredictable, right? We could have a performance like Mexico, or we could have a performance like Panama. I am a little bit worried. My main concern here is how Greg might rotate this roster. That is my main concern. Comment down below what's your main concern. I'm assuming a lot of you share the same one as me. At the time of this recording, there's also no news and updates on Stefan Eustáquio, if he's going to be available for Canada. Josh will talk about that. So now let's bring in Rude Canadian Josh from JJDTV and talk about Canada. All right, Josh, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're nice to me today, something you're not very often. How you doing? How you feeling from last night? We're both pretty tired. We're recording this super early after streaming for 3-4 hours yesterday night.
Yeah, we probably don't look our glamorous best right now, both sipping on a coffee. But I mean, what can we say? I mean, we both got the result. I don't think it was the most comfortable win for either side. I didn't watch your match, but I mean, I just listening to you before. I'm sure you're going to get into it. You're not happy with a 1-0 victory. That's exactly what you got. And we went to Central America, which can be a nightmare to play. It was a very rough match, but Canada found a way. Every hurdle that's come to them so far, they found a way to get through it, and they're pretty close. I think both of them now, US and Canada, are probably pretty close to having one foot in Qatar 2022.
Yeah, so just to update everyone, we're going to have on this channel a part of the preview. So here, Josh is going to focus more on Canada, and then we're also going to be releasing a preview at Josh's channel where I'm probably going to be discussing a little bit more of the United States with him. So keep an eye on that. He's probably going to release his before. So by the time you're watching this, his is already out. Go check his channel in the description. So Josh, let me get right to the point, what I want to talk about. What's up with Canada right now? Injuries, suspensions. We know Alphonso Davies is out. That's news that everybody knows. Is there anyone else missing that you consider a key player? And what is the update on Eustáquio, my favorite player?
Yeah, last match was a bit of a surprise because there was a little bit of rumors. I don't know how legit they were. They were just going around Twitter that Eustáquio might have been on the bench. He was not. We were missing two players yesterday. It was Marc-Anthony Kaye and Stefan Eustáquio. So those were two players I think would both probably start against the US if they're back, because it was Honduras. It was the type of matchup where you almost needed that little bit of grit, which is why like Samuel Piette start. He did start. He also picked up an injury. So right away we had pretty much 3 of our 5 midfielders injured, just like that. At least our kind of 6 to 8-ish midfielders in there, because Hutch and Piette were the one who started. Piette came out with an injury after a dirty tackle from behind. Liam Fraser came in, who was probably last on our depth chart of the players who came in, but he ended up getting a really nice assist. And then right now, I guess we're just having fingers crossed on Eustáquio. He is seeming, as long as everything's going to go according to plan, that the El Salvador game looks very likely. And the US game, from what I understand right now, as time of recording, is up in the air. And then Marc-Anthony Kaye, same thing. So it's going to be a little interesting to see which kind of starting lineup has there. It's also worth noting the amount of players that are on yellows. I guess it doesn't really affect your match, but Steven Vittoria, Richie Larea, Eustáquio, Piette, Kaye, Henry, and Adekubi are all on yellows. So
what does Marc-Anthony Kaye have? Is he injured?
I honestly haven't even seen the reports. Last night, he just everyone just said he's a surprise admission from the bench. I haven't seen too much on it. I haven't been too much on Twitter. I was live pretty much until I went to bed last night, and I didn't see anything on Marc-Anthony Kaye. So
and Eustáquio, is Eustáquio even in Canada? Was he allowed to travel with COVID, or he's still in Portugal? I don't even know if he has made it to Canada yet. That's one thing to keep in mind. If Eustáquio's not even in Canada, would John Herdman just Eustáquio arrives on Sunday, just throw him into that game? I think if that happens, he'll probably just be sitting on the bench, and depending on how the game goes, he could come in. But I doubt he would start because he's preparing the team already for the US today. And if he can't count Eustáquio now, I don't think he'll be there. One thing I want to ask you is, last night, Canada defeated Honduras 2-0 at Honduras. To be fair, it's a big win, especially when it comes away in CONCACAF, right? Central America, we know how it can be. But it's also a team that the United States went to San Pedro Sula and defeated 4-1 as well. Right? It's a team that hasn't won one game in this entire qualifier. So I'm not bashing your win. I think it's a big win. And again, it's never easy to play there. But it's a win that we do have to take with a grain of salt, because Honduras has just been much worse than we expected for this qualifier. How did the game go? Was it pretty? It was 2-0, so it seems like you guys had somewhat of the control of the game. The first goal was an own goal, and then Jonathan David scored a second in the second half. Walk us through what happened in that game from your understanding, what you watched.
Yeah, it was, in my opinion, after watching Canada play their 8 World qualifying matches, I thought this was the most CONCACAF-like match I saw. It was rough. There were pretty much slew foots left, right, and center coming from the Honduran side. They started out pretty well. They were pressing us. They were aggressive. They were gritty. It was gonna look like one of those scrappy, ugly wins. The pitch looked like a disaster. It really, honestly, it really felt like just that's what it feels like going to Central America, and that's pretty much exactly what we got. But we found a way early on to get a lead, and it came from individual quality. Tajon Buchanan had some good work down the right wing, a couple step overs, took his player on, left him in the dirt, put in a really dangerous cross. It would have found Laren for a tap in, but nothing that the defender could do besides put it in for an own goal.
Merchant.
No. Come on.
I remember Laren from the Orlando City days. He's a tap-in merchant. He's a great player, but he's a tap-in merchant.
It would have been a tap in. It would have just hit him right in the chest, but it ended up being an own goal. But that goal happened through individual brilliance of Tajon Buchanan, and for a while there, it looked like we were a little bit on the ropes. Honduras definitely took the game to us a little bit. Like I said, the challenges were aggressive. They took out Samuel Piet, who was actually having a really, really good game up to like the 39th-ish minute when he was substituted out. And like I said, with Mark-Anthony Kaye and Eustachio not being in there, which Mark-Anthony Kaye was a surprise. We kind of figured that Eustachio wasn't going to be there. And I'm pretty sure, and I don't 100% know, but to answer your other question, I'm pretty sure Eustachio would have went just straight to Canada and hoped that he'd be good to go for the US game. But I don't 100% know. I looked at some of the outlets and I couldn't find an actual answer. So we were a little thin in midfield, which was a little nerve-wracking. But we found a way to balance it out. Milan Borjan made 2 world-class saves, 2 unbelievable saves that could have really changed the complexion of this match. And then eventually, again, another piece of brilliance. Liam Fraser put out a perfect ball. Jonathan David took it down with the shoulder, then the head, and then a little dink over the keeper. A really nice goal, one you wouldn't expect on a pitch as poor as the one we saw. It looked like players were on the skis a little bit, to be honest.
But that's what Jonathan David does, right? He's a straight-up goal scorer, clinical in front of the goal. You give him those opportunities, you're going to score. I'm assuming he probably didn't have many opportunities in this game. That was probably it.
It was funny. He actually had, he didn't have a ton of opportunities, but he did have one other golden opportunity. It was him against Figueroa, so you'd expect David to maybe burn him with pace. The angle got cut down a little bit. It was kind of a 1v1, but David then ended up burning him, which is a little cutback, and then he had a poor finish. It was kind of 1v1. It wasn't the best angle. He took it with his left, and it was just a poor effort. That was a point-blank opportunity that David originally missed.
200-year-old Figueroa that plays in MLS?
Yeah. 189.
Is he in Houston now?
I thought he was back in Honduras. I'm not 100% sure.
I think he was in MLS. I don't know, but he's very old.
He's 38, and that was his 180th cap for Honduras. So the man has been there and done that. But you would have expected, he's unattached right now. He doesn't have a club. But you would have expected David to burn him with speed, because it was kind of just they're running at each other, but Figueroa was able to catch up, but Jonathan David literally just burned him. But poor finish on the ugly turf. I'm like, it's going to be one of those games. But I don't know if you saw the goal attack, but it was a really good goal. It was a really good goal from Jonathan David. Really impressive striker goal.
All right, so that was for last night, and then Canada currently holds on to the lead. The United States continues 1 point behind Canada. The good thing for both of these teams, including Mexico as well, was in this round, US, Mexico, and Canada were able to widen the gap between them and the 4th seed while still keeping the gap with the 5th seed, which means they're all in a more comfortable situation to hold on to the top 3, but they're not in a more comfortable situation to hold top 4, right? The 5th seed is still right there, Costa Rica, but there's less a game, so they're a little bit closer, and I think a couple games away. I think these 3 seem like they're going to hold on to those top 3, because I think Panama and Costa Rica will lose some points here and there. Now, what I want to go through here in this video before we go forward, and obviously I'm not going to try to predict Greg Berhalter's here. I'll try to do it at your channel, but I don't think I can do it. One can't understand Greg Berhalter's mind. That's my point. Can you give me the formation you think Canada is going to go in this game against the U.S. and what players you think will play? And while you're doing your prediction, I don't want to interfere in your starting 11, but let's assume Eustachio won't start. Okay, I think that's better because he probably won't start, even if he just arrives. So let's assume he won't. And if he does start, you can just say who he would go on for. But what would be the starting 11?
Oh, it's interesting. And again, it's difficult just because I know Herdman has done some rotation in the past. I have a feeling we're going to see something along the lines of a 3-4-3. Maybe... No, because I feel like Osorio is probably going to start. So maybe... it's tricky. I'm gonna say 3-5-2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Borjan and net. Yeah, I'm gonna go Borjan and net. I'm gonna go Larea at right wing back. I'm gonna go Johnston at outside right center back. Vittoria central center back. I'm gonna go Scott Kennedy again at outside left center back. Again, it's interesting to know because a lot of these players got bruised in this Honduras match. Then I'm gonna go Adekubi at left wing back. And then I have a feeling Mark Anthony K is going to be available. So I'm going to put K and Hutch and Osorio as our 3-man midfield. And then Laren didn't have the best outing. So I have a bold claim of, and I'm going to say Ike Ugbo is going to get his first start for the Canadian national team alongside Jonathan David.
So Buchanan will be on the bench?
Or actually, no, I'm going to put Buchanan up as striker. I changed my mind. Yes.
Buchanan,
that's what I was thinking that earlier. Yes, Buchanan. I think Buchanan and David will start as strikers.
Has he ever played Buchanan as a striker?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he went from left wing back in the Gold Cup against Mexico, and then we switched shape to a 4-4-2, and he doesn't really play the out-and-out striker. It'll probably be David, and Buchanan floating in a little bit behind him.
He's like a shadow striker.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wild claim from me, but again, Richie Laryea was rested, so I kind of expect him to start as the wing back. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. Maybe I'll change my mind by the time we get over to my channel, but it's going to be interesting because there are a lot of different options, and because of that midfield, I just find it's a little frustrating to try to put something together. But if Eustachio is available, I think Eustachio will be there instead of Hutch. So I think it's will be K, Eustachio, and Osorio as a 3-man midfield.
Yeah, I would not want to face Buchanan and David up top right there, regardless of our defense. Even though the United States, when it comes to defense, that's probably the strongest defense in CONCACAF, and it has been the entire 2021. And again, we held a clean sheet again against El Salvador. But before we wrap it up here, I'm not going to tell you mine right now, but what is your, so for this channel, you give us your prediction. I'll give yours and yours. So what do you think? How do you think this game's going to go? This score, just to go very quickly.
I've been very open with it. I've said 0-0 about 25 times.
It's very possible. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. That's what I think. Maybe 1-0 someone or 0-0. Josh, thank you very much. Everyone, tune in to Josh's channel for the other part of this preview with different takes and addressing a little bit more of the United States. Thank you very much, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Josh's channel while you're at it. All right, everyone, that does it for this video. As I promised, I'm giving you my prediction at the end. I'm going to say United States 1, Canada 0. 1-0 is the way, as I said, we're going to Berhalter ball our way through this just like Gold Cup, but it's going to be a tough match. In terms of predicting Greg Berhalter's lineup, I'm not going to do it for this video because I don't know what he's going to do. I'm just hoping he doesn't do something like the Panama game, and do 7 changes too many. I think Dest will be rested. That's one that I'm almost certain that might happen. And I think Miles Robinson will start ahead of Chris Richards. And Yunus Musa might also be rested, and we might see Kel Acosta in midfield. Maybe De La Torre. I would like to see that, but probably Kel Acosta. Besides that, most of the players should be there. Maybe Tim Weah will come off the bench. I don't know. I don't want to speculate on that because the odds of getting it wrong are pretty damn high. So comment down below how you think Greg's going to line up for this game. Those were the updates. It's a big game on Sunday. I'll see you all at the live stream. Last time we had a lot of people. It was lots of fun. 1,000 likes. The United States scores. 1-0 is the way. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a great day.